In 2015, there was a LEGO Ideas Doctor Who set, and nowadays, that's a dream. At that time, I wasn't very into the show, and I didn't care much to spend $50 or $60 or whatever the price was on that LEGO set. I barely knew what the show was and had only seen a few episodes. A couple years later, I was so into the show I couldn't take my eyes away from it, and that is still the thing today. And my dream is for LEGO to release more Doctor Who. Oh my gosh. I really want Doctor Who. But, as is, I still took some time, and I worked through a Doctor Who custom minifigure series. And, wow. I'm proud of myself. This is the first one I've ever done, so some of the artwork is a little odd looking and different. This is a series many people have asked for from other people, such as Ash and Flash and Just Too Good, but they've turned it down, and so here I am. So if you are a fan of their videos, which, by the way, if you guys haven't seen those, they're awesome. Check those out. But if you are there and you are wanting a Doctor Who series, here you are. Here is my Doctor Who series. This series includes 20 figures, all coming from the reboot of the show. There will be no figures based off of characters from the classic version of Doctor Who, although I did consider it, but I've only seen a few episodes of that, so most of these figures would not be completely accurate, nor would I be able to think of cool accessories for them. So this is entirely based off of the reboot. Our first figure is the Ninth Doctor, the Doctor who started off the reboot and was portrayed by Christopher Eccleston. I feel that the Ninth Doctor was a great Doctor, although I know that many disagree with me. He has the same hair as Finn in a dark brown color, which I know isn't completely accurate, but LEGO has used this hairpiece on such characters for people with this style haircut as the Ninth Doctor, so I figured it would be okay to give him this hairpiece. Another cool hairpiece that you could give him is the slick hair like Draco Malfoy, but I didn't feel that was quite right for the Ninth Doctor. He has a cheery face, and his torso is printed with his purple shirt and black leather jacket. And I only included plain black legs, as I know, we all know that is what LEGO would include. Although I hate it, and most everyone here hates it, we all know that's what LEGO would do. His accessories are his sonic screwdriver, which I forgot when I was doing this. I forgot to flip the sonic handle, the handle of the sonic, upside down so that it would look more realistic. So in this image, he is holding it the opposite way that I would have liked to have him hold it. And he has a banana, which is a reference to the Empty Child, in which he says that bananas are good and full of potassium, which is honestly one of the best lines of the Ninth Doctor. Moving on, we have the 10th Doctor, who was very much a fan favorite of Doctor Who. Played by David Tennant, is arguably one of the best Doctors out there, although I do believe he is definitely in the top 5 Doctors ever. Yes, he's that good. But aside from that, we have the Hawkeye hairpiece on him, and we have his face, which is printed with his sideburns and a nice little smile, which I actually did this as a two-sided face, and on the other side you can find his 3D glasses from the last episodes of Season 2, which is a cool little reference there. He has a torso and legs are printed with his suit jacket and his big trench coat, and his accessories are the sonic screwdriver, of which I made the same mistake as I did with the Ninth Doctor, and his other accessory is a buildable version of his hand, which is a reference to Season 3's final episodes. And this I actually came up with using the handle piece that is on the Power Blast from the Marvel Superheroes line of late, with an upside-down cylinder and 1x1 circular tile there. Most definitely my favorite Doctor in all of Doctor Who is the 11th Doctor. With his quirky personality and awesome sense of style and his just childlike attitude towards everything, I really love this guy. which is more accurate to his Season 7 look than it is to his Season 5 look, which is what the rest of the minifigure is based off of. With that said, he has his torso and legs are printed with his tan suit coat, which is a nice little thing there, and he does have the bow tie piece, unlike the one from the Idea set, which just had the bow tie printed on, which I felt was kind of lame, to be honest. He has a nice little face expression there where he is smiling, and on the other side he has a gasping, scared face, which really fits the 11th Doctor's personality. His accessories are the custom sonic screwdriver piece introduced in the 2015 Idea set, and we have a mop and a fez, which is a reference to the last episode of Season 5 of the show, which honestly is probably one of the funniest parts of that episode altogether. Next up we have the 12th Doctor, which is by far my least favorite Doctor of all times. He is so grumpy and mean to Clara, and so much more that is so wrong with this Doctor, and I really disliked it. Although I don't blame Peter Capaldi for horrible portrayal, it was really just bad writing on behalf of Stephen Moffat and many others on the show. He has the hairpiece that he used in the Idea set. He has a custom face with a smile, and on the other side he has his sonic glasses, which were another horrible mistake of the show, in my opinion. I also, by the way, hated how Season 9 of this show ended with this Doctor, but that's a whole nother story. He also has his jacket printed on his torso and legs, unlike most of the Doctors before him. His accessories are the same sonic that was seen on the 11th Doctor previously, and a guitar, which is a reference to most of the episodes in early Season 9. Moving on, we have the 13th Doctor, the new Doctor from Season 11. I've heard people who have mixed opinions about this Doctor, but personally, I really like Jodie Whittaker as the 13th Doctor. She reminds me a lot of the 11th and 10th Doctors, and it kind of brings me back to the older versions of the show, which are my favorite versions of the show. Here, I'm using the Lego Friends short hair piece. I mean, I know Lego doesn't like using Friends pieces on actual minifigures, but in all honesty, they haven't made this hair in a solid plastic yet, so if they're not going to do that, then start using the Friends version. And also, they can't say that they'll never do that because they used one on Kira in the AT hauler from Star Wars last summer, but that's besides the point. I did use that hair here in blonde. The expression on this side is a smile, and on the other side she has kind of a confused look. And I'm really not sure how well I portrayed the confused expression for this minifigure, but I figured it was good enough for the final series. Her torso and legs, like all the Doctors before, is printed with her jacket and such. Her accessory is her curvy sonic screwdriver with a yellow tip instead of a blue or green one, and she has a Kerblam box, which inside, although I didn't draw this, would probably be a 1x1 or a 2x1 tile printed with bubble wrap, so you can have your minifigures pop it and blow up. Dark, I know, but I mean... Anyway, moving on, Rose Tyler is entry number 6 for this series, and she's the first companion of the reboot, and arguably the best. I disagree. She is here in her outfit from The Empty Child, which is also probably the most iconic outfit of her. She has the Union Jack and her jacket printed on her torso, and her accessories is a thing of fries or chips, whether you're British or American, but they are called chips in the show as it's a British TV show. Moving on, we have Martha Jones, which is honestly probably my second to least favorite companion. She was a bit weird, but I think she was still enjoyable enough throughout most of the episodes. I kind of actually regretted choosing this hair after the fact, but I didn't feel like going back and redoing this figure. So here she is. She has Pepper Potts' hairpiece, which in defense, isn't the worst hairpiece we could give her. But she has that in black and some custom printed face there, which is not double-sided, and a custom printed jacket. This is actually the first minifigure I designed and kept. I did have to go back and redesign the 10th Doctor because, oh my gosh, he looked horrible. But it was good for a first. But moving on from Martha Jones, the 8th entry is Donna Noble, one of my favorite companions. She has a new hairpiece, which is similar to Mantis's hairpiece, in red. She has a cool face print, and her jacket from, I don't remember what episode. Actually, I think it was the library episode, but I'm not 100% sure. It is most likely probably the most iconic outfit for her, other than the Runaway Bride wedding dress outfit. Her accessory is an Adipose minifigure, which actually, thank you to Alan for designing that for me. I was having troubles doing that, so I sent it to him, and he did a great job drawing up that Adipose for me. So thanks a lot for that, and you guys can check out his MCU CMF on the channel if you want. She has, I think, just plain color legs, which, again, Lego would most likely be doing that for a series like this one, as the set didn't sell well, and this probably wouldn't happen anyway, sadly. Moving on, the next companion here is Amy Pond, another one of the early figures I designed, so she doesn't look nearly as good as some of the others. She's here wearing her outfit from the Impossible Astronaut episode, which is a cool episode. She's wearing that red and green plaid shirt, and I used the Hermione hair in red for her, and I guess this isn't the perfect hair, but it honestly works really well and looks like Amy. She does have a two-sided face, and on the other side you will find her with a much more stern expression, and I went ahead and threw in the printing of the tally marks as an extra little Easter egg there for the episode there when she was counting the silence. Moving on, we have her boyfriend and husband, Rory Williams. I was going to include him from the same episode as I did Amy, but eventually I settled on doing Centurion Rory instead. He does include a sword and a shield, and I know this wasn't blank in the film, but I was having a hard time designing it, and eventually I decided it might be possible to just leave it blank. So please don't go in the comments ranting about that. Not that we have people who comment anyway, but if you are, don't get mad about that, please. He also has a sword and an extra hair so you can take the helmet off for him. Which, speaking of the helmet, he does have the same helmet as the Batman, Lego Batman movie Bricktober pack from a couple years ago, but in different colors. I printed off his torso and legs with some gold and some brown boots and straps and such like that. Next up is the final companion from these seasons, 5, 6, and the first half of 7. We have River Song. She's in her most classic and recognizable outfit here, and she uses the ghost hairpiece from series 14 in blonde, and she has a space ray gun as an accessory. And River does have a two-sided face, which portrays the more angry side of River Song, the Doctor's wife, which, sorry, spoilers if you haven't seen that, but yeah, that's who she is. She's also Amy and Rory's daughter, and very confusing relationship going on there, but River is probably one of the best companions, if you can call her a companion, that we've ever had, and I feel like I did a much better job with River's minifigure than I did with, say, Amy's or Martha's. But moving on from River, we have Clara Oswald, which is my favorite companion. And as you can tell, Season 7 Part 2 is my favorite season because it includes my favorite companion alongside my favorite Doctor. But here she is based off of her outfit in the episode Hide from Season 7 Part 2. And it's a funny story. I threw in this satchel on a whim, not thinking she actually had one, but more that it would be a funny inclusion and just kind of an extra because I wanted to draw out a satchel, and I figured Clara would be good. And then when designing her torso print, I looked up the images for her in Hide, and I saw the satchel. So, Yeah, that's why it is red, which is not the color I was originally going to do it, but since it's accurate, that is a dark red satchel. I wasn't going to use this hairpiece, except that I wanted to include the satchel, and apparently this hairpiece fits with the satchel, which is something I did not know prior to designing this series. So, little fun fact there. But that is in a dark brown there, and Clara has, like I said, the outfit from the episode Hide, which is printed on there nicely. The next figure is my least favorite companion. Not that there was really anything wrong with Bill Potts, she just wasn't my favorite, and I really do not like the way they ended her off, as this show is supposed to be a PG show, but here we are, and I really don't like that, and I really hope that they never bring that aspect of the show back, or even mention it again. That was a very poor choice to end off that season with. Nonetheless, I've drawn her in her outfit from Smile, and I'm not proud of the way I designed her hoodie hanging from her waist, but I couldn't do terribly much better, as I'm kind of only an amateur drawer right now. I'm not very good at this. She uses the dance instructor hair from Series 17. I think it's Series 17 anyways. And a new face print, as well as a custom 1x1 tile there, which is printed to be one of these Smile tabs that they wear on their backs during the episode. Next up, we have the companions from the new season of Doctor Who. And the first of those is Ryan Sinclair. He has the same hairpiece as the Ninth Doctor, but in black, and he has a new custom face, which is two-sided, with a much more frightened face on the other side, which matches Ryan's personality in a way. And he has his snow jacket from the episode The Witchfinders. He also has an accessory based off that episode, which is the torches that they use to destroy the Morax with. Or, well, not destroy, but scare off the Morax with. Next up, we have Yasmin Khan, and I could not think of a good accessory for Yaz, no matter how hard I tried. But here she is, and she uses Mia's hairpiece from Lego Friends, and she has a nice design with her brown jacket and white shirt there. Her legs are just a blue color there. Next up is the final figure from Series 11. Well, not exactly, but you'll see later on. The final companion from Season 11, which is Graham O'Brien. He here is with his black jacket, from the first episode of the show, and his accessory is a flashlight and a newspaper, which he is seen holding in some of the promo art for Season 11. He uses the Old Man Han Solo hairpiece in the same color, even, and a nice new smiling expression there. Moving on, we have the villains of Doctor Who. The next up is the Cyberman, which uses the same head and similar design all around as the Dimensions character, but as Dimensions characters are they're retired and somewhat hard to find these days, so honestly, I think that LEGO would include probably one of the most iconic Doctor Who characters, although you could argue that they wouldn't do that. But here he is in the series, and his accessory is a laser piece like is seen with Emperor Palpatine and Count Dooku. Next minifigure up here is the Sontara, which, oh boy, I actually really like how this turned out. I had a hard time with the face, and so I sent that as well to Alan. So again, check out his MCU CMF on the channel, and thanks again to him for designing this, because it looks really, really good, and way better than I did with the original version of the Sontara's face. He has short legs and the same overhanger piece as the Red Hood minifigure from the LEGO Batman movie series. Moving on, we also have the Silence from Series 6 of Doctor Who, which are, again, a very iconic character who I think LEGO would definitely include in this series, more so than the Cyberman and maybe even the Sontara. He has a custom molded head, which would most likely be a rubber piece there, and he has printing with their wet-looking suit jacket there as well. the last figure in the series is also the last figure from Series 11, the new season. Here is a Jorian, one of the quote-unquote villains or monsters of the show, although they were not really villains or monsters, just aliens, watching the dead to make sure that no one died alone, as their companions did. Here, I used a custom molded head similar to the Silence, and I think it actually turned out really good. This was actually the first custom molded headpiece I ever created because I did design this figure just before I did the Silence. He has the new skirt piece attached and one of the overhangers there. I'm not exactly sure where it came from, but when I saw it on the LDD database, I realized that that was perfect for the Jorians. But that's it for the series. What did you guys think? There were a lot of figures I really wish I could have drawn or fit into the series in any way. A few of them were a Weeping Angel, which I eventually shot down because I realized I needed space to include Bill Potts, who I had completely forgotten in the original version of this draft. And honestly, I had to bump off something, and the Weeping Angel, as it had been in the actual set before, and not just in a Dimensions pack, seemed much more eligible to be dropped than any of the other figures in the series. For the 11th Doctor, I did seriously consider doing the Season 7 Part 2 outfit, as technically the outfit from this season that I did finally draw was in the set, but I eventually decided not to, as I wanted to include the mop and fez, and that wouldn't make sense with the outfit from the later season. Grace O'Brien was another close call here for that, as she had a fairly major role in the newest season, even though she was only technically in 2 or 3 episodes before, she died and blah blah blah, whatever's happening there. Kind of confusing, really, but all that happened with Grace, and she was a great character, and there is already an existing hairpiece that would work pretty okay for her, so it didn't even scare me away about that. But there really wasn't space, and I needed more villains than I had already, as most of this series was already taken up with companions. 2 villains that I really wish I'd had space for, and actually almost dropped the Sontara to include, were a Zygon from the Day of the Doctor, as those are pretty awesome creatures, but eventually I chose the Sontara as it would need a super custom molded headpiece, and I didn't think I was quite ready for that. Maybe in a series 2 we'll see that. Another creature I really wanted to include and was shot down for the same reason as the Zygon was an Ood. I really feel like this would be a fun figure to design, and it could include a very cool accessory. But that's all I've got for this video, guys. Please comment down below. Let me know what your favorite minifigure was. Let me know what figures you'd like to see in a Doctor Who Series 2, as I'll probably be doing one sometime next year. And keep an eye out for more CMFs from both me and Alan. Subscribe, like this video, share this video, turn on notifications, and make sure you're subscribed because we really, really could use the boost. And, oh, yeah, do subscribe. We were looking at some stuff and we realized we have more than 100 different people watching our videos that aren't subscribed. So if you're one of those people who are consistently watching our videos and haven't subscribed, please subscribe. It would do us a lot of good and would give us a lot of support here on the channel. And so thank you guys for watching so much. Again, like the video, subscribe, comment down below, and we will be back in a